ex. I had the same reaction about an ex that did something similar. And I was just like, people are
Give
crazy.
up.
Someone was reaching to tell me, oh no.
No.
But it's just, I said, I understand the passion. It's cool. I know I know people are passionate, but that's also crazy. So you're
Yeah.
either manipulating me or you actually intend to kill yourself.
Yeah.
Either which way, that's problematic.
I'm not
We must
interested.
not encourage such behavior.
Exactly.
So that's 1 year into marriage now. Somebody telling me he's going to kill himself. My two babies will be looking at ourselves. Hey, nigga, no. Studio mics are up. Good morning, Lagos, and you're welcome to Sports Inside the Locker Room. Today is Wednesday. It is the 21st of November. We are fast approaching my birthday. That's what I just had to say, sorry. But we will be talking about sports right now as Tega Onojaife is giving me a side-eye. Tega, good morning.
I'm not around for Folu's birthday. Happy birthday,
You are
Lagos. I mean,
present.
good morning,
You are
Lagos.
present. You will be here. I know that you are. I know you're planning something secret and exciting. It's great. Look
Yeah,
forward to it.
I like secrets that never come to light.
We've also got Valentine, of course, ever steady present here. How you doing, Val?
I'm alright.
I like, okay, cool.
Thank
I like
you.
that. Your guy is listening. But he's also going to give you the different platforms and on which you can reach us.
Alright, Lego, send us your messages through WhatsApp to 0809 444 0981. And of course, on Twitter, use the hashtag LockerRoom981 when you tweet at Smooth981FM. And we're streaming live on YouTube. So YouTube is Smooth 91 FM Lagos. Yes, we're right there.
Very straightforward. Okay, straightforward. Let's jump into our sporting stories. The Super Eagles last night were held to a goalless draw by a robust playing Uganda in a friendly stage at a packed Stephen Keshi Stadium in Asaba. So Nigeria created the better chances, but the Cranes of Uganda proved a very physical test for their hosts. The Super Eagles dominated the game in which they missed many scoring chances, and Super Eagles coach Roar was forced to make several subs in the second half after many unsuccessful attempts to break down the compact defense of the Uganda national team. So it sounds like they really flew here to show themselves, and we see more friendlies being held for the Eagles. But where's our Falcons?
I don't know.
No more young boys.
No
the,
more
the boys
young-
in school are tired.
The 11 sisters are they're all tired.
I see.
But it was well, I would say this. It was a great turnout, which is why I say take every sporting event to Delta State. We will pay
Turn down
and
for
then
what?
fill up the stadiums.
Okay.
That's how we roll in Delta State.
Okay.
Sports
you're
business
saying it with your chest
thrives
now.
in Delta State. I say this all the time. Anyway, but great turnout for the Super Eagles. Earlier on, they had renewed their contract with Nike for the jerseys, and
Yes.
this time they mentioned.
So I'm scrolling quickly beside.
During the signing, this time they actually mentioned the women's teams.
Good.
So
I'm glad they took on board that criticism.
so because they mentioned it and we have that recording, we can bring it out on the day we don't see their jerseys when they have to fly in their rag day uniforms
Oh, dear.
to another country. We'll remind them that they said they were going to provide those outfits. But after that, it was game time, and just maybe. At the start of the game, the boys didn't take it a little seriously because it was only an international friendly. They
And perhaps
qualified.
they thought it was only Uganda.
Yeah, they qualified and all. But Uganda has been a tough proposition. I mean, during the qualifiers, they barely ever concede goals. They're not flashy. They're not scoring as much, but they're not giving away goals either. And so as the game progressed, and Nigeria was trying to give the packed stadium something to cheer, it just became a little tougher. One touch too many, one pass a little further down the road, and it was just a bit hard for them to get the goals. But all in all, you looked at that team and you could see one or two new pieces that you say, okay, we can add this to the Super Eagles, or we can keep him on the bench, or he'll be useful as this or that. So it was it satisfied the purpose of an international friendlies, which is basically to look for your option B if you need an option B. But that excitement of goals, I mean, we're cheering dribbles at some point. You just dribble somebody and we'll cheer because they're not goals. They're not goals to cheer. But I think we would have wanted to see a goal or two, but it did satisfy what the coach set out to do, and so that's enough of it for me, if you ask me.
All right, so Super Falcons now is in the news. Their vice captain Onomaibi has apologized for the team's disappointing defeat to South Africa in their opening game. She said, "We are sorry for the loss to South Africa. We were down but not out. We're not leaving here without the trophy." Ebi told reporters this at the team's Elmina base in Cape Coast, Ghana. Ebi and her teammates now have to win the next game against the dreaded Shepolopolo of Zambia on Wednesday to boost their hopes of making it to the semi-finals of the biennial competition.
It is today, and it was a. Let me put it this way: it wasn't just the loss. It was the performance. So yesterday, Ghana played against Mali, and Ghana dominated possession, created a few chances. Maybe in the final third, they weren't as sharp or as precise as they could have been. Mali ended up beating Ghana, but I don't think any Ghanaian will go home and cry that, oh, we lost, because they didn't because their players put on a good display. They had 3 defensive problems and they considered 2 goals.
Okay.
So it was 3 chances that the Malians had. And they scored their 2 goals. So they're more clinical in that aspect. But I mean, the rest of the display from Ghana was okay. Now, I'm not saying that Nigerians would have been happy with a loss if we performed well, but it wouldn't have felt so bad and so hopeless. They seemed like they didn't know each other very well. Like the girls looked like they came from different continents and arrived the same day and played the game, because their communication was poor. So I mean, between that day and today, there's been different people talking to them about different things, and they've been working on different aspects of their game. The good news is that game against South Africa gave them an insight to what the rest of the tournament would be, and I'm sure there was a lot of fine tuning in training and all of that, and then the coach has called on them to get up and push, because nobody's going to sit on their arms and wait for you, noticing the kind of results that have been coming out of the tournament recently. So they faced a Zambian side that have shocked everybody. They're supposed to be the weakest in the team, but they shocked everybody by beating Equatorial Guinea 5 goals to nil. Again, Equatorial Guinea was not supposed to be here, so lack of preparation and all that. But with those 5 goals, there's momentum on the Zambian side, there's confidence on the Zambian side, and they have 3 points in the back, so they can afford to gamble with the Super Falcons. So it's the Super Falcons that are now under pressure to at least get their points on the board and get some goals. So I mean, it's going to be tough just because the Zambians won their first game. And please, Zambia, Super Falcons, you have to beat Zambia for me. My friend from Zambia has been tweeting at me since yesterday. Please, for the sake of my bragging rights, just beat Zambia. Let me go and brag back to her.
Wow. Okay, I'm speaking of bragging. Phil Mickelson has been baiting Tiger Woods into a $200,000 side bet as part of their winner-take-all $9 million match on Friday in Las Vegas. Tiger, so this is our future, right? We're going to be like 200,000 bet, bet you. Okay, cool. So during a news conference on Tuesday at Shadow Creek to promote the match between the longtime rivals, Mickelson noted that he's been thinking about the side challenges that are to be part of the pay-per-view event. He says, "I feel like the first hole is a great hole for me, and I believe, in fact, I'm willing to risk $100,000 that says I birdie the first hole. That is how good I feel heading into this match." Mickelson made it clear to Woods that he didn't have to accept, but the 14-time major champion said, "So you think you can make birdie on the first hole?" Mickelson replied, "I know I'm going to make birdie on the first hole." Woods responded, "Double it." Big boys.
Big boys.
Big boys.
What can I say? Look, let me just tell you what this is. Yeah, you have to level up. You have to level up. This is my future. You know, a few months down the line, this is exactly what I'll be telling Folu. But
let me just let you know that I will not respond to this double up.
No, but it's $9 million. You can afford to give away $200,000. No. It is US dollars we're talking about. But what it is that it's a. Should I call it a friend? I don't want to call it a friendly match, because it has $9 million attached to it, and it's not $9 million of their money. It's $9 million of sponsors' money that is up for grabs, and it's winner takes it all. So whoever wins this walks away with $9 million for nothing, for just having one rivalry for years that Tiger Woods happened to be the dominant person in. So Phil Mickelson says, okay, yes, you've been beating me all these years, you've been winning all the majors, you came here, you broke all my records, but this $9 million, I'm going to
I'ma
win
get
it.
you.
So
And let's start off. So it's not. Wait. So you mean that if Tiger loses, he loses not just the 9 million, but these $200,000 on top.
yeah, they can afford to do it, because I mean, look, let me tell you, this money is not really their money.
I suppose
It's not like they went into their bank account and they're
it's just dash away money.
Phil Mickelson and Tiger Woods are squaring up against each other, and people looked at it and said, this is something I can put my money for. I've been looking for people to sponsor my LIS mentoring program.
Wow, these boys are throwing away 200,000. I see. Very.
They're making $9
interesting.
million. You're missing the big catch. The $9 million.
No. I'm there with you. I'm thinking of my future children and the sports. So I know tennis is a good one. I know golf is clearly good. And big shout out to the young Nigerian golfer, the female golfer that's just turned pro as well. Very exciting stuff. Yes. I will just find her name during the break and just say it out there because I think it's very impressive.
I think she's from Edo State or something.
Oh, okay.
Let's confirm.
Yes, we'll confirm and let you know. On that note, let's take this quick break. When we come back, we will continue with all the latest sports talk right here inside the locker room on Smooth 98.1. Because she just turned pro. She just turned 17, so she's gone pro now. Sweet gear. Sorry, please.
Okay, no. Georgia Boys is different from Uloma.
Yes, it's Georgia.
No, it's Georgia Boys.
It's Georgia.
Georgia, about 16-year-old.
She just turned 17.
Okay.
With the theme Mobile Money as a key driver to achieving the 2020 financial inclusion target. Date is Thursday, November 22nd, 2020.
I can imagine that she's been training for a long time.
Venue is 4 Points by Sheraton, Victoria Island. Keynote speaker is Dr. Herbert Migwe, GMD, CEO, Access Bank PLC.
Virgil van Dijk.
Dr.
Van Dijk.
Van Dijk.
Announcer,
Dijk.
Ram Johanna Consulting Limited. Smooth.
We can't help you pick the perfect suit. We can't help you rehearse your speech. And even when all is said and done, we can't get the client to sign the deal. But we can get you to the big meeting for free. Get free rides on Uber when you pay with Visa card. Get $3,000 off every fourth ride.
Georgia Boys, Jerry. I'm going to know.
Rides also stand a chance to win shopping vouchers worth $1,000.
My future.
Enjoy great discounts and keep moving with us. Terms and conditions apply.
Am I hungry?
Everywhere you want to be. On the 23rd of November, the world's biggest sales promotion is coming to ShopRite Black Friday.
It's Georgia Boys. They didn't write her state.
That phone me.
But I know somebody was congratulating her from Edo State. So I don't know her state.
Please,
Close to you now, in case you
Equate
ring.
Club. Thanks. Please, that Equate Club. That's so weird. Chimampi says I will only accept Onome's apology if they defeat Zambia.
Me too.
E-campaign.
Me too.
Guys, 24 hours is short.
Yes. Why did you think it was enough?
It's very short.
Depends if you're owing some money, you have
I've
to
just
pay.
been days.
Yeah.
So fast is very short.
It depends if you're owing money. That's true. That's true. If you're owing money, short. If you're looking forward to something like a big payoff, is long.
long.
Just be like, wow. I'll sleep, dream. Wake up. 5 minutes has passed. What do you mean? What do you mean? Because sometimes when I'm anxious about stuff, my dreaming is crazy. Because I have very active dreams normally, but I can experience like 5 lifetimes in a dream. When I wake up, I'm like, 20 minutes has passed.
Only.
Especially when I'm really excited about a trip. I just give up on sleeping. I know that sleep is for the flights. It's not really for right now.
True.
That dreaming thing is frustrating. Dream. I'm like, wow, I'm a new person. I'm so different now. Nothing. All right. Studio mics are up. baddest ever, the greatest ever, Muhammad Ali there. You are listening to one of the greatest radio stations ever in Nigeria. We are Smooth 98.1, and I say it with my chest.
Yes.
Yes. We've also got messages coming in this morning, so let's see if we can read out a few of them.
Chimobi Victor from Alaba International sent this one. He said,
Today we will win the trophy. Even Cameroon will fear us. NFF, please treat Falcons well. Oh. Kai, okay, not Rose hatred for home based players. Sha. Wow. Hatred? Come on, Shay. Come
Strong
on.
words.
Don't say it that way.
Our next story now is about Ronald Koeman. Ronald Koeman is thrilled that the plan he hatched with his assistants resulting in Virgil van Dijk's late goal against Germany, which sent the Netherlands to the Nations League finals. Now, Koeman later revealed that he passed a note from one of his assistants onto the field via fullback Kenny Tete, instructing Liverpool centre-back Van Dijk to move into an attacking position. And in his words, he said, "And in the end, it is fantastic that equaliser came from the guy who was told on the notes to, quote, push up front."
Yes. I think, first of all, Germany's problems just got bigger. So they turned to youth in this game. And for the life of me, again, I don't know why Joachim Low had to switch and put Müller earlier in the second half, because Germany was leading by 2-0. They were moving the ball around. Their pace was troublesome to the Dutch defense. It looked like everything was going well. Yes, they were only playing for pride because they're already relegated and all. But it was important that they won that game for confidence, for psychology, even for the pot they're going to be in when they dropped into the lower league. But they bring in Thomas Müller, and all of a sudden, the Dutch found a way to get into the game. They started pressing. Eventually, they got the first goal. And next thing, writes a love letter, according to what idea, but he writes a note and they give it to Virgil van Dijk. Next thing we see, Virgil van Dijk was pulling a Fellaini and playing up front, and then he gets the goal. And he gets the goal, and the Dutch, who couldn't qualify for the World Cup, the Dutch that looked like their national team was dead, suddenly will be in the UEFA Nations UEFA Nations League finals, just like that. So Coman struggled, at Everton, which is why he was fired. And then he comes here and he's now the savior of mankind. It is sad what's happening to the Germans, and I still say that they have everything they need to sort it out. They may need to fire Joachim Low. They may need to rest Müller for a long time. But what ultimately, the tools to restore their nation's pride is in their hands, and they can decide when they're going to do it. But for the Dutch to have resurrected their team from what it was a few months ago to where it is now, it's an amazing feat.
It is.
Oh,
Tactical
superhero
proficiency.
guys. We've got Ibrahim Hassan sending a quick message up on our live stream. He says, Tega and these 11 sisters. Anyways, the Falcons will be good. As for Tiger and the bet, he will get there eventually. Have a good morning, guys. Thank you very much for that. Just resigning yourself to that. But we'll move on to our next story. Paris Saint-Germain have injury worries over Neymar and Kylian Mbappe ahead of their Champions League match against Liverpool next week. So Neymar left the pitch after 8 minutes of Brazil's friendly with Cameroon and Milton Keynes on Tuesday night with an apparent groin problem. Mbappe was forced off the pitch with what appeared to be a shoulder injury during the world champions 1-0 over Uruguay on Tuesday. Not looking so good.
Not looking so good for PSG. Send out their players to go and play for their country. Come back with injuries.
The UEFA is very happy with the Nations League as it's going. They're like, it's even more successful.
The Nations League has been successful. Whichever way you look at it, for the sponsors, for the teams, it has been successful because they have competitive games now. They know where their teams are at, what level they can compete. It's just amazing for everybody. Unfortunately, for some countries, this is what they are afraid of during international breaks. For some clubs, sending their players to their countries and their players coming back with injuries. They don't have 180 million people to pick from. They have a small club where they pay wages and they have to struggle. And these are key players for PSG. Neymar and Mbappe. That's the key. That's two key players from your front three
Yes.
that have picked up injuries now, and you are start to ask yourself, how are we going to defeat Liverpool? It was already a struggle for them playing against Liverpool with these guys, and now without these guys, how are we going to sort this out? I think that's what they'll be asking themselves. But for Kylian Mbappe, it looked more like a bruised shoulder than a very severe injury. So he was taken off for precautionary purposes. So let's see how that turns out. If he's fit enough, maybe not to play this weekend in a Lyon, but maybe to play against Liverpool. But for Neymar, that groin strain, it I don't know. Again, there's magic treatment in football.
Yes.
But from where I'm sitting right now, as it is this Wednesday morning, it doesn't look
It must
good.
be very serious for
Yeah.
him to leave at 8 minutes.
It doesn't.
after 8
Yeah,
minutes.
it doesn't look good for PSG right now.
All right, let's move on to this one now. Daniel Sturridge has requested more time to respond to a misconduct charge relating to alleged betting breaches. The Liverpool striker originally had until 6 p.m. on Tuesday to reply. Now, Sturridge has stressed to his club that he, quote, categorically has never gambled on football, and his representatives are seeking more time for the independent judicial panel in order to answer the charge. The judicial panel will consider whether to grant the request, which is a frequent occurrence in complex cases, and if it acquiesces, by how long?
Here's what my problem is. Why are you asking for more time when you knew of these charges since? Okay, so this is what happened. A family member of his placed a £10,000 bet that he was going to move to Inter Milan. He eventually ended up moving to West Brom.
And caused the family member to lose money.
But that wasn't it. The fact is that his family member was involved with a betting on top of his case.
Imagine.
So it may have been insider information. There are all these.
May have been.
Yeah.
Wait.
No, it wasn't.
Family
It
member
was
insider.
obviously not insider information because he wasn't going to
How
Inter
obvious
Milan.
is
I mean, he wasn't going to leave England.
Maybe there was a discussion we didn't know, which is why they're taking this seriously, and which just showed that you know what.
It's just that it was a family member that placed the bet.
Let me
That's
tell you
it.
what happened. So they were having this conversation in the living room, and the family member on Thanksgiving night.
No.
Right? The family member was probably in the
No.
adjoining room.
Let me tell
No.
you, this is possible because I actually had a colleague in law school that this happened to in the UK.
No.
And they jailed him.
Let me tell you what what it is that he could go
That
to
was
jail for
scary,
it because
yes.
regardless of what he told,
Yeah.
it was his
Exactly,
family member.
exactly.
Regardless of how
Because this
There's
one,
a
his father
connection.
did it to him.
this
And we
one,
were
yeah.
all in shock.
regardless of how involved he was in it, he may go to jail. It's a serious allegation.
It is.
So his family member has put him in trouble as it is, and which is why he needs more time to answer the case. But it is not a very good place to be in, considering that he just got back into Liverpool, was finding his feet, trying to get some playing time in Liverpool. Did get a few moments of glory, like especially when he came in and got the equaliser against Chelsea.
Yes.
Looked like his career was getting back on track. And then this cousin,
I was going to say that the family relations are going to be very strained after this. This is going to be a very tense time.
this
in our
is
family.
going to be a
Don't
tough
speak
Christmas.
to me.
He'll be alone on Christmas,
know you.
happily.
This is tough.
So let's see how it turns out for him. But it's not a good place for him to be right now.
All right.
Not a good
We're still getting messages in. God is a Nigerian. That's Mike the Great sending this tweet to say Nicholson to Tiger 9 million USD. We die here. Yeah. I can understand that sentiment. I really can. Jacob from Apapa says to the Dutch, the Bible say make I tell them that the dry bones shall rise again. Good day. And MI from Akoka says, poor Joachim, another low for Germany. Ozil was accused of playing without zeal. Now who gets the stick? This is the definition of a Dutch state. Netherlands qualifying at the Germans' expense. You guys are lyricists out here. And we've got Ogundeji Adetunji coming back in to say, I'm seriously happy for the Dutch, but PSG is in serious trouble. And Tega, injury can happen, whether it be the national team or club. Yes, just increased injury risk now. Okay, we've got to take a break. When we come back, final story, talking sports here inside the locker room. So get in your final messages and comments. Tweet at us using the hashtag lockerroom981 or send in those comments to our WhatsApp number.
It is 0809 444 0981.
It's because you're not paid full salary for getting injured.
So, yeah, we know
Clubs
it's not
had
happening
their
everywhere,
way.
but it's
Some
increased.
people
They'll
will not
never
be
pay
going.
for the
Yeah.
national team.
Some
What do
people
you
not be
mean?
going on. They'll be like, see World Cup.
So what do you mean? Are they paying you there? How much are they paying you? How much money are you making? My family still out.
My friend, that's it.
Olympics.
Oh, Sturridge. No, when this thing happened to my colleague, like, you don't understand. Because I used to get into school so early for my solicitor's training. I remember opening the newspaper. I'd always sit down, my coffee, newspaper. Because this boy has a unique surname. So I saw this, I was like, this looks like Daniel's. My God, that's his picture. My God. I'm not even sure of that people. I had to show them. Dude, they were saying that his father had used insider information while he was working as an intern at one of these big firms whose name I obviously don't want to mention because it's an international firm. Do you know what I mean? And that his father had then that they communicated using Chinese food codes on a forum. This boy was somebody that if he showed up 5 minutes late to class, he would be panicked because he had a training contract with a big law firm. So he was like, oh God, I don't want them to, to think that I'm late to this. I'm like, listen, somebody that's worried about being late to class doesn't deliberately trade. His father, on the other hand, and obviously his father is not going to serve any jail time. Nothing happens yet because his dad was ill. So they're like, oh, well, he that's initially Crown Prosecution Services were saying, oh, it's a first time thing, blah blah, will be lenient because they hadn't. Because I'd also was doing my masters on that because they had not really prosecuted for a number of financial crimes. They said they were going to make this boy an example, so he had to serve jail time. That was the end of his legal career. The end, guy. Now all of us gather like this. They look. Because he came back to school very quickly. We had it like a pub meet, we're just sitting in the pub. We're like, oh, how you doing? Because he was in really good spirits. Like, oh, they're saying this, because in the UK everything is very organized. So even your criminal prosecution is, there's no policeman with boots on your face. Like it's a very civilized thing. But it was ever any like thing they will catch you. Don't try it. Don't try. So this Sturridge, I feel bad for him because I've seen the breakdown of somebody's life. Just a casual day. Like one day everything is fine, next day. Bro, insider trading. They're very serious about this at the moment. Because so many people have got away with so much nonsense that if you are unlucky enough that somebody just blow whistle or they look at you somehow. And this boy only happened to be an intern at this firm when they were dealing with a financial firm. But he was like, we weren't allowed anywhere near any of these documents. So I couldn't really have known this stuff that they're saying that I gave my father information. But his father profited a nice £10,000 from a move that they suspected was a result of the insider information.
Wow. And it may not have even been that boy. Could have been one of that secretary.
It could have just been, I'm just juicing on my day in the office. And it was just part of random office. You know, people ask you how you
so the father just put 1 to 2 together. Why was John talking to
her? Just connected quickly.
Hey.
Wow.
My chest.
This one, the bet did not even happen well.
Yes. So this was the guy that messed up. Did not profit nothing. No.
Bet that he was going to Inter Milan. The guy was not going to leave England. It was guaranteed.
So it was over stupid youngs.
Just quickly rushed.
I thought it was a lesson.
Reminds me of an episode of Billions.
Yo.
Stupid friend now. Quickly hid and texted. Put that money.
Story. All right, we're back in studio. And this is the locker room on Smooth Breakfast right here in the heart of Lagos. We are carrying on with our conversation talking sports this morning. Very quick messages have come in. Chris says, please, I'm looking for friends, sponsors who will be willing to drop better money for us to just come and show yourself, please. 3 of you included. Thanks for that.
If you find them, share their details with us.
Share the information.
Mm-hmm. And then Sheriff Oluwaleke Akimbi sent in this one. It says Germany has not won a game since they beat Sweden in the group stage of the World Cup. They are a shadow of their former self. The only difference is they do not have Mesut Ozil to blame for their misfortune now.
Wow. While Shay says, please, what time is the Falcons versus Zambia match today? Please, is DeLong on sabbatical? Okay, we don't know. We'll let you know about the match time later.
And Bash from Yaba sent in this one. It says, Mr. Lowe created a solution to the problem himself. He put himself in. He had a team of young players that won the Confederation Cup, but dumped them to bring back the old school that won the 2014 World Cup. So you can't expect progress when you go back to Galala, where Shoki they're in.
Wow. Really took it there, Bash. Really took it there. We appreciate those messages. We have pretty much come to the end of the locker room, though. I was going to see if we could squeeze in this one about Dembele, but we're done.
Yeah.
Even though Suarez just says Dembele should be more responsible.
Yeah, Dembele was playing video games all night, so
He was tired.
which is why they had to bench him for the next game. Yeah. So the club is now saying maybe he has an addiction. No, I'm just like, no, he's just irresponsible.
Can I just say that there are many men on this particular table
That I'm
Suarez
shaking.
is shaking. So let this be, our final note. To
Yeah, the
everybody
guy
out
that works
there.
at night here.
Let's just see. There are lots of them in their offices now, yawning, adjusting their ties. They know
Yes,
themselves.
they know
As Valentine is
themselves.
here sitting upright.
They're chugging coffee.
We're looking at you side eye.
Oh, don't forget the golfer's name.
Yes.
Georgia Obo.
Georgia Obo.
She's turned 17 this year. Actually.
Yes,
American
congratulations
golfer.
to Georgia, and she's now a pro golfer.
Yes.
Woohoo! Very exciting.
Awesome.
Okay, coming up next in the final hour, Smooth Breakfast, we're opening up our phone line, so get ready to call us up on 0144899981. Good morning, Lagos, and the rest of the world. Thank you for reminding us, Tega. Just be like this.